She literally gasped when I dropped the price of my high ticket offer. But here's what I did to close the sale anyway. And in this video, I'm not only going to tell you what I did to not only have her say yes, but have her say yes with full certainty. I'm also going to tell you the 3 things not to do at this pivotal moment in the sales call process so that you don't lose them. Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jana Niksa. I am a high-ticket sales coach. I help you create offers that convert and then teach you a simple sales strategy and process to get high-ticket clients consistently. I spent over 2 decades as a top-performing sales executive, and what I can tell you is you do not have to sell like everybody else. No manipulation, no force, no convincing. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so first let's start with what you're making this pause, this awkward silence, this gasp mean. Often we think that they are about to reject us or it's way too much money, and we start the apology tour, right? We just jump to conclusions about what's going on in their brain based on our own insecurities, and we're projecting it onto them. But here's the truth about what's actually going on. First off, the silence doesn't seem nearly as long as you think it does, okay? Second of all, maybe they had a specific number value in their mind, and right now what they're trying to do is work it out in their head, like, no, I really want to do this. So let me figure out like how to make it make sense. Like I can do this and I can move that, or I can, put this here and there. And so they're just computing. And in the sales world, we used to call this the golden silence. And essentially what I want you to think about is whoever talks first, like play a game with yourself. Whoever talks first loses, okay? Because in this situation, what most people do, which causes them to lose the sale because they step into insecurity, is they start an apology tour. And that just means, again, they're giving into their own insecurities and starting to say things like, but I could give you a discount, or we have payment plans, or, what do you need in order to, and all of a sudden you've gone from serving them on the call to like the needy girl at the bar. Okay. So instead of launching into justification mode, I want you to practice that golden silence. Pause, let them think, let them do their own mental gymnastics. Don't project any of your financial stories onto them. They're just thinking, that's all. So just let them hold that space for them, and with pure conviction and confidence. Now, once you've held that space, typically they will come back to you and say, okay, I was expecting this, or I was expecting that. And a really good way to get into it, first off, we want to qualify them and how much they actually want to do the program. And spoiler alert, or hint, I should say, the longer they're sitting there thinking and processing, that's actually a good thing. They're trying to work it out. They're trying to work it out for themselves. They're trying to make it make sense. Like, how can I make this happen? So once they've kind of come to and they're like, well, it's a little more than I thought it would be, or what, this, that, and the other, the first question is, I want you to meet them where they are and say, hey, I totally understand, right? I get it. I've been there. I understand investing in your business, investing in your health, whatever it may be. Like, especially if you're used to like the traditional this, that, and the other, like it can feel like a lot. And just say, but I just want to know, like, before I even give you some of the options that we do have on a scale of 1 to 10, like how much of this is like an absolute full body yes. Okay. Now you're going to know for sure, even though I would assess that if they take that long, then they are interested and it's not a smokescreen, but that's a story for another day. Once you know for sure that they are like a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, it's like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Like, we have options. So what would work for you? And again, be silent. Let them tell you. Okay. Sometimes it's like, well, Jana, I actually want to do it in 2 payments. Can I do that? Our mind goes to like worst case scenario. Like, I can only afford $200 a month and, over the course of the next 6 years or whatever, but that's not necessarily the case. So give them that moment, and definitely check out some of my objection handling videos to know what to do. If it's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, that then takes a different framework, to work through that. But we're talking to the one that's like, no, it's a definite. And so the next question is, okay, then great. Like, let's figure it out. Like, what would work for you? And so then once they have gotten over the sticker shock, now they're like trying to figure out, and you're kind of like a team player then together, you can start to reassure them on the ROI by telling different stories about, listen, we aren't like, this is something that I will use because it's true. Like, no one ever taught me how to invest in my business. No one ever taught, it was all like, get a good paycheck, get a good job, like all of, steady, that kind of stuff. And so I never understood the value of ROI. And so for me, for example, most of my clients can make their money back with their investment with me by just signing 1 or 2 clients, right? And so when I can reframe it from, this is not, remember, don't forget, like, this is not money that you're flushing down the toilet. I know it feels that way because we've never been trained to understand ROI, but this is you like adding 10 years onto your life and more time with your grandkids, right? This is you saving your marriage or your relationship with your children. And so, this is you investing in your business and learning skill sets that you're going to have to learn. It's inevitable, right? And the beauty of it is no one can ever take them from you. And so like once I can start to see that they're trying to make it work, then I reframe just to kind of help support the argument. Because what they're doing right now is trying to get their ego out of fight or flight and into, no, this is why we're here. Jana's spent this time with me. I totally see the value in what she's doing. And they're just trying to down regulate their nervous system. And so once you've paused, held space, and definitely clarified their level of interest. And then let's reframe it so they can feel good about their choice. I don't want anybody to get off a call with me like, oh God, I can't believe. No, like I want them like, heck yes. Yes. I know, I trust myself. I know that this is exactly what I need. I know you, and I know you're the person to get me there. Let's do it. That's where I want them. And so, when I feel just some of that, like, oh God, what I consider it is like, help me make this make sense. And so that's really that last step. I can help you make it make sense. Because the bottom line is anybody that's ever on a call with you or me or anybody else, they're in need of a transformation. They're in need of overcoming a problem. They want it solved. If you can demonstrate that you solved that problem very fast, that you have a lot of experience solving that problem, and you do it differently than the other things they've tried, and that's one of the biggest reasons you get such great results with your clients, then why wouldn't they buy? That's the way I see it. Why wouldn't they? And so often, especially when clients come to me or just even out, oh, they just couldn't afford it, wasn't the right time. That's because you didn't demonstrate one of those 4 things clearly with them 9 times out of 10. Because the truth is this, if they don't have money at all to invest, you should be qualifying them on the front end. And they should know that whatever call they're getting on, there will be an investment associated with it, right? And so if we're doing this stuff on the front end and we're qualifying them in our content and our messaging, and then also in the application, then of course they know that they're going to have to spend money. So when they come and they're like, oh, it's just too much, generally that's a smokescreen because they don't want to tell you that what I like to say is that your baby's ugly or you didn't do a good enough job. They just don't see the value. So I know it's hard to hear. Don't shoot the messenger, but it's a very valuable lesson I learned decades ago at the beginning of my sales career. They know why they're there. They know why they're there. They know why they're on the call. And so, of course, investing is part of it. So don't let that be the end all be all. Get better at learning how to sell, get better about understanding their needs, get better at speaking their language and communicating the value and your unique positioning. They will say yes. Now, one thing I don't believe in is scripts. I think these take your power away. I think it's great to see it as an example, but I like to work with my clients on frameworks so that you know how to flow through these conversations, so that you can be yourself, so that you can be human and not some weird salesy robot. So if you want to go deeper into this, or if you want to understand more about some of the objections and things, comment sales below, and I have something that you might be interested in. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, all the things, subscribe so that more people can get to this content. Because if you know that sales has been something that's been a stumbling block for you, it definitely is for others. And for them to know that there is a different way, backed by 40,000 sales calls. It is a feminine way. It is a beautiful, sacred way to take people through a very important decision-making process. And to toot my own horn for a second, it is the fastest way to scale your business. So please send this to somebody else that you know needs to hear it. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.